Welcome back to my YouTube channel where we are talking about applied channel theory. We're talking about all things acupuncture, how we're treating patients, what and how to be doing applied channel theory specifically right now. And I've made a video about the Tai Yin meridians, the Yang Ming meridians, along with imaging, mirroring, and how to be using applied channel theory. I want to show you, now that we've done the Tai Yin and the Yang Ming, how to actually create a balanced treatment. So remember, we use imaging and mirroring with static treatments. So static could mean a localized pain or localized rash or problem. And so with that, there's many ways we could treat a local pain. We have systems 1 through 5 that would be aligning with that. And then we could also have a systemic or a global or a dynamic type of treatment. And those would be opposites: static versus global dynamic movement based treatment. And these are going to be more of like real life things of many organs and many meridians are being affected. So now that we've done 2 of the Tai Yin, 2 of the Yang Ming, we need 4 channels to create a balanced system, and we have that now. So let's go through an example. This is going to be the overall look and example of how to do a case study. So you see the 4 meridians. With this, you can see that they alternate. So it starts Yang to Yin, going down to stomach, Yang, and then going over to spleen, Yin. So going in a circle, Yang, Yin, Yang, Yin. That is rule number 1, is all of your meridians have to be alternating. It doesn't matter what it starts with as long as they're opposite. Rule number 2, so hand meridians need to be on the upper top part of the truss, and then on the lower part, it is going to be the feet. It seems so basic right now, but this will stump you at some point. So just remember, alternating yin and yang, and now also hands on top and feet below. With all of this, we're now going to be assigning a bagua or a hexagon bagua diagram to each organ. All these dashed and solid lines represent yin or yang. So the solid lines would be yang, and then the dashed lines would be yin. This is a whole system that came up through a tortoise shell. So once again, Chinese medicine is based out in nature, and so this was all seen in this. So going back to imaging and mirroring, how there's 5 systems that connect everything. These 5 systems will be what builds the truss or the support beams. These support beams are going to be major connections within these meridians. So internal external pairs, that is system number 3. This is system number 1, which is the branching name, so Yang Ming, Yang Ming. This is also system number 1, Yang or Tai Yin, going to Tai Yin. So this is a perfect trust of how everything can connect. So in this case study, it's an hourglass. In another case study, it could be a sideways hourglass. Another way it could also be is a box. So a box would connect all 4 of these meridians. Obviously not these 4 specific meridians, but there's examples of 4 meridians connecting and having enough support beams to be connected. So those are your 3 options: a true hourglass, a sideways hourglass, or a box. And that is how your support beams have to flow for it to be a strong enough connection for it to be a successful treatment. Now that we have yin and yang alternating, we have the hands on the hands, the feet by the feet, and now that we have the truss system, the next step would be writing out your bagua. Now you would write out the bagua for each organ, and you can see that the points are already selected, and that actually comes from the bagua. The bagua is going to be used with a whole chart. It's going to be the antique chart, along with adding in the low and the source point. So again, solid lines are yang, broken lines are yin, and we want everything to be combined together. And how we can combine it is through needling. First line is always the lowest line, and then you count up. Just like how a kid grows, you start at the lowest, and then your kid would get higher and higher. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the third line is solid, and the sixth line. So the third and the sixth line would be connecting. And so you'd actually needle, and you're adding in your energy to that needle to connect these meridians. And so now it's this true yin and yang within the body, and it's all starting to flow. So again, looking at the lung and then the stomach, it's the third and then the sixth line that needs to be connected. And so you would again needle those ones. And so that's how we came up with LI 3 and 11, lung 9 and 5, stomach 43 and 36, and spleen 3 and 9. That's the very quick version, and I'm going to break all this down so much more.